Welcome back to Hardball. It's been evident ever since he pushed that bogus claim that his predecessor was born in Kenya that Donald Trump holds a deep personal grudge against former President Obama. Even after winning the White House, Trump seems intent on upstaging his predecessor by discrediting, dismantling, and otherwise denigrating Obama's legacy. Let's take a look back at some of the things he said about Obama and the Obama administration over his last 10 months in office.
To be honest, I inherited a mess. It's a mess. At home and abroad, a mess. In the last 8 years, the past administration has put on more new debt than nearly all of the other presidents combined. The Iran deal made by the previous administration is one of the worst deals I have ever witnessed. I've ended the Obama administration's war on coal, and we've gotten rid of a lot of really bad pieces that were signed by President Obama, believe me. Obamacare is collapsing. It's dead. It's gone. They voted because they believe the lies of President Obama. I don't draw red lines. President Obama drew a red line, and I was the one that made it look a little bit better than it was, but that could have been done a lot sooner. They asked me, what about race relations in the United States? Now, I have to say they were pretty bad under Barack Obama, that I can tell you. You look what happened with Bush, you look what happened with Obama. Obama, he didn't even want to talk about it. But I talk. It's about time. Somebody has to do it. I would like to denuke the world. I know that President Obama said global warming is the biggest threat. I totally disagree. Barack Obama never said it took place because of radical Islamic terrorists. He never said that, right? He doesn't have to say. If you look at President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls. I like to call when it's appropriate. There is another absolutely terrible deal from the previous administration. See how nice I am? I say the previous administration as opposed to the Obama administration.
Anyway, we're back with our guests, Shannon Pettypiece, Dana Milbank, and Jason Johnson. This revenge talk against Obama, did it start with that humiliating riff that the former president did on him at the press dinner a couple years ago when he made fun of him for being the moderator of that television show Apprentice?
Trump, as I recall, was sitting with the Washington Post at the time, and that was one of his lowest moments. I think it may have something to do with that. And in fairness to Trump, previous presidents have always bashed their predecessor. That part's not new. The obsession really is. But I think that's something in the Trump psyche. He needs to have an opponent to go against. You could play a similar reel about Hillary Clinton. You certainly could during the campaign with Little Marco and Lion Ted and Low Energy Jeb. But there's something extra about Obama.
Just you slowed down when you said low energy.
Low energy, Ted.
Get into that.
No, but there's something extra about Obama, and he benefits. The reason he's president is because of a backlash to Obama, and unfortunately, there is, I believe, a racial component in that drives everything from the birth
the base of his base. Yeah, you know, Shannon, it seems to me that he keeps Obama in the news. The former president is sort of retired until very recently. He hasn't been out there beating the drum for the Democratic Party or raising a whole lot of money. He sort of stepped back, which is the dignified way to go. But this guy keeps bringing him back.
Yeah, and for those who like Obama, it, I think, even elevates Obama and the importance of his 8 years and how much they like him. I think it makes them rally around Obama more. But for those who dislike Obama, which there is a large percentage of this country that comprised Trump's base, I think he knew there was a lot of dissatisfaction among people with Obama, and I think that's what he has tried to tap into. They really like his attacks on Obama.
You know, Jason, I hate to throw this at you, but I will. It just seems like he only plays to the whites.
Oh, yeah.
And like it's with the no, I mean it. Whether it's immigrant people generally, or it's from below the border, or it's Latinos, or it's Muslims generally. In fact, when he says Muslim, that audience applauds how much they don't like Muslims, period, just because of who they are.
Yeah.
And then, of course, African Americans with this. I always thought the birtherism thing was to build the first 20% of his coalition.
Right.
And then build on the hating of Mexicans and then hating of Muslims. Add up to the high 30s. I mean, it was pretty much confected that way, like a big cake. Right?
Yeah, I mean, his loathing, I mean, it's a multi-layered cake with lots of white slices and maybe some brown ones at the top.
So this is, what do you call it?
But here's the thing. His antipathy towards Obama...
Angel food.
Yeah, exactly. He's angry at Obama for not just being successful, for not just being popular, but for being a successful black guy. And part of that is an anathema to how Trump sees himself. But I also think this, and this is really key, the more he goes after Obama, what was it just last week, SNL does a sketch, Barack, we want you back. It's Star Wars. If you strike me down, I'll come back more powerful. The fact that he keeps talking about Obama just aggrandizes what Obama did. And he makes the president more powerful, former president more powerful every time he talks about him.
What do you make of this, Shannon?
I do agree that there are racial tensions underneath all of this Obama attacking. And, you know, maybe he doesn't even intend it to be that way. Maybe Trump doesn't even intend it to be that way, but it is perceived that way, you know, and certainly by the alt-right, by racist elements in the country, they perceive it to be about race. Same thing with the attacks, the persistent attacks on black athletes. Maybe
I forgot to take the knee guys, you know, making it into SOBs. They call them, I mean, you can say I disagree with them. It's a good argument on both sides. I can see the argument. Maybe it's not the proper way to show your anger about the way blacks have been treated in this country. But to call them SOBs because they do it, that's their kind of patriotism.
Sort of talking down.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're going to have some fun now. If those people are deadly serious, you may want to watch something else for the next few minutes. I'm sorry, this is what he is.